Hey guys, it's Jason with the Board Game Mechanics, and today we're going to take a look at a game about two competing societies, science and seances. And that game is called the Science and Seance Society. The Science and Seance Society is a two-player game from New Mill Industries, which is a new up-and-coming company. I'll put a link to it in the video description so you can go check it out. And what you're doing in this is one player is going to take on the role of science, one player is going to take on the role of a seance, or you can say the mystical arts, whatever you want. What you're trying to do is the science player is trying to achieve their goals, which means getting 3 dice on 5 cards, or making the seance player not be able to draw cards before the seance player gets all their cards in a certain order, which you'll see in a little bit, or the science player can no longer draw dice out of the die bag. There's some special abilities that you can use. Both players are drastically different, doing drastically different things. That's enough talking about it. Let's go down to the table. We'll check it out. All right, so here's a game of the Science and Seance Society all set up. To set up, you're going to make each player pick either to be the seance or the science, which science is here, seance is here. Science is going to get 4 of these light gray cards, 3 of these dark gray cards, and you're going to pick 3 of these, 2 of these to make your tableau. And a turn order, what you're going to do, and what all the icons do. So a player guide. Seance, they're going to get shuffle these cards. You're going to flip 3 of the black ones face down. Then you're going to put these 2 white ones every other. So it'll be black, white, black, white, black. Then you're going to draw 3 cards and give them to the player. Then this player is going to flip. And the science player gets to determine which they're going for. The way that this player wins is they need to get either all the black sides lined up from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or all the white sides A through E. So the science picked white because there's 2 C's and an E, and that's going to take longer for them to flesh out. So they're going to go out for white. So because they're going for white, they're going to take these 5 one-time ability cards, put them on the white side so they remember. This player also has 3 one-time use ability cards that they can only use 2 throughout the game, once per turn. This player can only use 1 per turn, but I think they can use all 5. And then this player is going to draw 4 dice out of the cup. Red, black, and white in the dice, in the die cup. And we're going to have these discs here that are going to mark special abilities. All right. Let's get started. So Seance goes first. So on Seance's turn, what they're going to do is they're going to use these cards in their hand, which are going to look like these cards. And they are going to either draw 1 card from the deck, replace 1 card in the tableau with a matching ability. So say I wanted to replace this one. I could take this card and replace it because these 2 abilities match. Something like that. Or they can discard a card to use the ability. Or I can discard this card to be able to draw another card or swap 2. So let's see. I think I need to get rid of some of these C's. I'd really like to get an A out there. See if I can do this. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to swap a card. So I'm going to get rid of the gray card. I'm going to swap with this because that symbol matches that. It stays in the same orientation. Discard this. And then I can discard 1 card to remove a die. There aren't any dice. And I can activate up to 2 abilities by sliding them down. So let's see, what do I want to do here? I'm going to activate this one. And I'm going to rotate this one because that ability is rotate. So I'll rotate that one. And then I'm going to activate this one and I'm going to rotate this guy. That's that, that's that. And then their turn is done. All right, so now it's Science's turn. So Science is going to do similar types of things. First thing they can do is they can place 1 of their dice, which I'll put them right here, on any of these die spaces on their cards, not gray, to make it so they can't use that ability. So if I put, let's see, this 1 black here, they can no longer use that draw a card ability here. They can still manipulate it, they can still do all that, but that's done. If I put a 1 red here, both the dice go to the void, which is this section here, and the card gets discarded and we'll pick from 3 more. So this player's kind of trying to wipe out their cards and give them cards they don't want. So let's see. I think that's a good play, actually. So I'm going to do this, put that one right there so they can no longer use that ability. And now I can place all the rest of mine on my card. So I didn't explain how science wins. Science wins by getting all these appropriate dice on their science cards. So 3 odds, 3 evens, 4, 5, 6 of any color, 3 reds, 3 blacks. All right, let's see. Let's do even, odd, and we'll do a 4. All right, that was the end of my turn. I take out 4 new dice. I would actually have a player screen, but for this run through, I'm not going to do that. I'm just using a cup and this, and I'll keep these dice over here so you can see them. So those are my dice for my next turn. All right, back to this player. So they can draw a card, replace a card by matching ability, or draw or discard a card to activate an ability. Let's see. I need to get that card rotated. I don't have any cards that let me do that. So I'm just going to draw a card. So I'm going to draw this one. It's an E. I don't need an E because I have CA, CE. I need a B and a D right now. So then I can discard a card to get rid of a die, which I'll go ahead and do. I'll discard this one to get rid of this 1. Now I can use that ability again. And then I can activate 2 abilities. So I'm going to do this and rotate this one. And then I'm going to use this one. I'm going to swap. I'll use this one and I'm going to swap 2. So I'm going to swap this A over here. And then the C and the C and then the E. So I need a D and an E and I will win. A B and a D and I will win. All right, and back to this player. Those swap ones are really nice. I need to put a kibosh on those, but I can't. So let's just do... None of these dice are good colors for over there. They don't work very well. I'll just put this black 4 over here. Maybe I can kill that card. That'll be good. All right. Then I'm going to do an odd. I'll put an odd here. And I'll do an even here. And nope, I'll put this black here. So 4, 5, 6. I'm going to use my ability. So I'm going to use this ability. It's going to give me any die value that I want. I'm going to make it a 6. So I can at least play it. So I'll make it a 6. This card's out of the game, and since I can only use 2, I have to decide to get rid of one of these other ones now, so I'll get rid of this one. That just lets me reroll, and I don't want to do that. So I'll leave this one that lets me have any die be any color. And that was that player's turn. I need 4 more dice. And here are my dice. All right, and that's how the game's going to play. So let me go over a couple more rules that I didn't show you. So this is called the void. Whenever 3 dice are on this void at the end of a turn, they'll go back into the cup or the bag. Whenever 2 dice are on a card, so say, let's just go ahead and do that. So say I put these dice on here. As soon as that happens, these dice will go to the void, and this card gets discarded, and it will get replaced with 3 more. So I would look at these 3. I would look at the A's because I know that's what the player wants. And I get to pick the card that gets replaced. So I know they have an A out there already, so I would give them the A. And then this player would get to put it whatever side they want down, so they would put it like that. Then the rest of these cards will go back to the bottom, and that's important because Science can win by either having all their cards filled up with dice, or if this player has to draw and they can't, Seance will win when they get them in order, or this player has to draw dice and they can't. So at the end of that player's turn, these will go back into the die tray, just like that. Another thing I didn't show you, I don't think I showed you. Let me see. Did I show you this? Yes. Okay. So say I had all 3 of these dice here. Let me get a black die out. I had a black odd die here. I would get this ability. I put this marker right there to signify that I have that ability. You can see through the course of the game, I can have 4 abilities because once I get the 5th card, the game is over. So, a couple things here. When all 3 of these dice are on a card, this card can no longer have dice removed by the Seance player. And it's going to activate an ability that I can use. I can use 1 ability per turn. So I could take this ability, and that would let me move a die from somewhere to somewhere else. All The actions are on the back of this card, so if you ever needed to know what's back there, you can do that. Same with this player. All their icons are back here as well. They're just basically drawing and manipulating cards. And that's how the game is played. You're going to keep going like that until one player is the winner. And that's how you play the Science and Seance Society. Let's go up to the top, see what they think about it. All right, well, that was the Science and Seance Society. That's a lot of S's, and I keep getting that confused. This is a really fun game. As you know, we here on this channel, we love two-player games. Love them. This is a strictly two-player game. One player science, one player seance. You're just duking it out. Now, caveat here. This is a prototype copy. All I was sent was the cards. So the dice I pillaged from other games. The discs I pillaged from other games. And I think that's it. That's all I pillaged. And I didn't have a die screen because it didn't come with one. And I was showing you in the video, so it doesn't matter. So I'm not sure if these cards are what the cards are actually going to look like, or if these are just prototype cards. I'm not sure, but it doesn't affect gameplay any. I just had to pillage some pieces, so I wanted to put that up on the front. So now let's talk about this game. So we're fans of two-player games. We like two-player games that you're kind of going back and forth, duking it out. Now, we also don't like high interaction games. This one has some interaction, but it's not like game-breaking interaction. So I showed you the science player. He can take a die, or she can take a die, and put it on the seance card to no longer make that ability be able to be used. 2 dice make that card get discarded. So if this player was about ready to win, and the science player dropped a couple dice, the one card they were trying to move, give them another card with a number or letter they already have, that can really screw up their game. Same thing with the science. If the seance discards one of their cards and takes one of those dice off of an unlocked science card, that can be painful. You could have worked forever to get that 6. You just weren't rolling 6s. You finally get that 6, and then here comes a card that takes the 6 off. Now, granted, they can't just discard a card and take any die. They're at the mercy of the values of pips that are on the card that they're discarding. So maybe they won't have a 6 black die that they need to have to get rid of it. So you might be safe, but you might not. So there's a little bit of, tug of war and trying to outthink the other player there. And I also like these special ability cards. If you can't do anything, there's always something you can do, at least once. Now, if you want to do it again after you use this card, you're stuck. So it's kind of a get out of jail free card a little bit. The seance player has 5. The science player has 3. But I feel like it's pretty balanced because it seems easier in the games that I've played for the science to get their piece done before seance gets theirs done. So I think it kind of balances it out. Again, I'm not a game designer. I don't balance games. I just play them and have fun. So maybe it's not balanced. I don't really know. I don't really care because it was fun. So what do I think about this game? I think this game is really fun. I love dice games. I love placing dice on cards. I like Yahtzee. I've always been a fan of Yahtzee. Since I was, a teenager, I played tons of Yahtzee. This is kind of like Yahtzee. I need to roll certain types of things to get them on these cards to fulfill these cards. I love that. Order of the Gilded Compass does that. Dairyman. I just love games that do that. It's so fun, and this is no exception. So if I'm going to play this game, I want to be the science side because this dice manipulation and fulfilling contracts is my jam. Seance is cool. You're rotating cards and you're, trying to get rid of the other player's dice. That's cool, but I think I prefer the science best. Doesn't matter. Both sides are cool and fun and enjoyable. Just I like dice, so I like to play the science side. So yeah, I'm not gonna beat around the bush a lot on this game. It's just a little card game with some dice, and it's fun. So I'm gonna give this a BGM accepted seal. I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10 on BGG, which is a 3.5 out of 5 on our arbitrary wrench scale. That means absolutely nothing. But we like to give it the games that we enjoy because we're a podcast and video channel about games. So we need to talk about stuff that we like and get out of this 2020 dredge and all that stuff. So that was the Science and Seance Society from New Mill Games. I'm Jason with the Board Game Mechanics. And as always, keep gaming.